no one sees you as an enemy, it means you're not important enough. If no one sees you as a threat, it means you're not strong enough. If no one talks behind your back, it means you're not outstanding enough. If someone is taking advantage of you, it means you have value. If someone isolates you, it means you're strong enough. If someone imitates you, it means you are charismatic. If someone slanders you, it means you are too prominent. If someone mocks you, it means you have unique thinking. If someone confronts you, it means you are superior to them.
If no one sees you as an enemy, it means you are not important enough. This statement suggests that making an impact often means challenging the status quo, which can create opposition. But let's look at this through a more nuanced lens. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Black Coffee Podcast. Today we are going to explore some thought-provoking ideas about personal growth, relationships, and how we navigate the complex world of human interactions. We will be looking at 9 powerful statements, each offering a unique perspective on life's challenges. But remember, these are not absolute truths. They are starting points for reflection and discussion. Let's dive in and explore these ideas through real-life stories, considering both their potential wisdom and their limitations. I had a friend when I was growing up called Sarah, a young environmental activist. When she started her campaign for sustainable practices in her small town, most people often ignored her, but as her message gained traction and began to affect local businesses, she faced opposition. Some saw her as a threat to their livelihood. However, Sarah didn't seek to make enemies. Instead, she worked to find common grounds, showing how sustainable practices could benefit everyone in the long run. Over time, many of her initial opponents became allies. The lesson here isn't about making enemies, but about standing up for what you believe in. Even when it's difficult, it's about being willing to face opposition for a greater cause, while always striving to turn adversaries into allies through understanding and collaboration. If no one sees you as a threat, it means you are not strong enough. That's our second deep, meaningful phrase of the day. This statement might suggest that strength is about intimidation, but let's explore a more empowering interpretation. Consider this guy called Mark. I knew him a while back. We were together. He was a new employee at the tech startup. Initially, his colleague barely noticed him, but Mark wouldn't focus on being seen as a threat. He concentrated on developing his skills and contributing innovative ideas to the team. As Mark's expertise grew, he began proposing solutions to complex problems that had stumped even senior team members. Some colleagues felt threatened by his rapid growth, seeing him as competition. However, Mark's true strength lay not in being perceived as a threat, but in his ability to elevate the entire team's performance. The lesson here is that real strength isn't about being feared, but about having the capacity to make a positive impact. It's about becoming so skilled and valuable that your presence naturally challenges others to improve themselves. If no one talks behind your back, it means you are not outstanding enough. This is so true. There was this high school teacher. Her name was Emma. She decided to revolutionize her teaching methods. She introduced interactive projects, real-world application, I must say, and personalized learning plans. At first, there was a lot of chatter amongst other teachers and parents. Some criticized her unconventional approach, questioning its effectiveness. However, as students' engagement and test scores improved dramatically, the nature of the talk changed. Emma became known for an innovator in education, and soon teachers from other schools were coming to observe her classes. This isn't about stirring up gossip, but about being bold enough to challenge norms and create positive change. When you're doing something truly innovative, people will talk. Not necessarily behind your back, but in admiration of your courage and success. That's usually the case. If someone is taking advantage of you, it means you have value. This is so true. This one, you should hold it dear to your heart. This one, you should take the positives out of this. This is a statement that could be misinterpreted as justifying exploitation. Instead, I'll say that let's focus on recognizing and protecting our own worth. There was a talented graphic designer who often found himself working extra hours without compensation, believing his dedication would lead to recognition. His boss consistently asked for small favors that turned into major projects without additional pay or credit. A mentor helped this young talented graphic designer realize that while his skills were indeed valuable, allowing others to exploit that value was harmful. But this young talented, valuable graphic designer learned to set boundaries, and he communicated his work effectively and negotiate fair compensation for his work. The lesson here is that having value doesn't mean allowing others to take advantage of you. It's about recognizing your own worth and ensuring that others respect it too. True value is best expressed in mutually beneficial relationships, not in exploitation. If someone isolates you, it means you are strong enough. Rather than viewing isolation as a badge of honor, let's just explore how true strength often lies in building connection despite challenges. Take for example, there was this whistleblower called Lena I read in a journal. She was working in a large corporation and she found herself isolated after exposing unethical practices. Colleagues avoided her, fearing association would jeopardize their careers. So instead of accepting this isolation, Lena reached out to ethics committees, journalists, and support groups for whistleblowers. They exist. So through these connections, Lena not only found support but also created a network that led to systematic changes in corporate governance. Her story inspired others to speak up against wrongdoings. So the real message here is that strength isn't about enduring isolation, but about having the courage to stand for what's right and wisdom to build alliances. Even in challenging circumstances, true strength often manifests in the ability to create communities and support systems in the face of adversity. If someone imitates you, it means you are charismatic. I fall in this category. I identify with this, so true. I read a story about this community organizer called Alex, who noticed young people in his neighborhood starting to dress and talk like him. At first he felt flattered, but soon realized the importance of encouraging individuality. So Alex started mentoring programs where he emphasized the value of each person's unique qualities. He shared his own journey of self-discovery and encouraged others to find their authentic voices. Over time, instead of imitators, Alex found himself surrounded by a diverse group of confident, creative individuals who were inspired by his example, but true to themselves. The key insight here is that true charisma isn't about creating copies of yourself, but about inspiring others to discover and express their own potential. It's about lighting a spark that allows others to shine in their own unique way. If someone slanders you, it means you are too prominent. Instead of seeing slander as a sign of success, let's explore how to handle criticism and misinformation constructively. There was this doctor called Dr. Yara, who is a climate scientist and found herself the target of a misinformation campaign after publishing a groundbreaking study. It comes with the territory, right? So rather than viewing the attacks as a badge of honor, she saw them as a challenge to improve science communication. So Dr. Yara engaged with the public through social media, local town halls, and the collaboration with educators. She addressed criticisms head-on, explaining complex concepts in accessible ways. Her approach not only countered the slander but also increased public understanding and support for climate science. The lesson here is that prominence may indeed attract criticism, but how we respond to it defines us. Instead of accepting slanders as inevitable, we can use it as an opportunity to educate, engage, and build strong connection with our audience or community. You will like this one. If someone mocks you, it means you have unique thinking. While this statement suggests that mockery validates originality, let's reframe it to focus on the value of diverse perspective and resilience. This young entrepreneur called Rai pitched an eco-friendly alternative to single-use plastics. His first presentation was met with skepticism and sometimes even ridiculed. People mocked his idea as impractical and unnecessary. So instead of being discouraged, Rai saw that this is a sign that he was pushing boundaries. He used the criticism to refine his product and his pitch. He sought out mentors who could help him articulate his vision more effectively. 2 years later, guess what? Rai's company was leading a revolution in sustainable packaging. Mockery really doesn't validate your ideas, but that pushing boundaries and thinking differently often means facing initial resistance. So the key is to remain open to constructive feedback, continuously improving, and have the resilience to stand by your vision when you believe in it. The final deep, meaningful phrase of today is, if someone confronts you, it means you are superior to them. So this final quote could be interpreted as promoting arrogance, but wait, let's just explore a more constructive viewpoint of this confrontation and growth. There was this senior manager at the company, right? She was confronted by a junior team member about a flaw in the project strategy. Her initial reaction was defensive, as always, viewing the confrontation as a challenge to her authority. How many of you have been there? Many of you. But however, Maya took a step back and realized that this took courage and might have merit. So after a careful consideration, Maya acknowledged that the junior member's insight was valuable. So she not only adjusted the strategy, but also created a company-wide initiative encouraging employees at all levels to voice their ideas and concerns. So the lesson here is not about superiority, but also about the value of open communication and humility. Confrontation, when handled constructively, can really lead to better outcomes and stronger teams. So true leadership isn't about being unchallenged, but also about creating an environment where everyone feels empowered to contribute their best ideas. So as we've explored all these 9 perspectives, we have seen how challenges and others' perceptions can be catalysts for growth. However, the true measure of our character and success lies not in being feared, envied, or even admired, but in how we positively impact the world around us. It's really about standing firm to our values, growing from adversity, and fostering positive relationships. Remember, our goal should be to lift others as we rise. So, to turn the opposition into collaboration, remember our goal should be to lift others as we rise. To turn opposition into collaboration and to be a force for positive change. Thank you for joining Black Coffee Podcast today on this journey of reflection. Until next time, keep growing, keep learning, and keep striving to be your best self. Cheers.
If no one sees you as an enemy, it means you're not important enough. If no one sees you as a threat, it means you're not strong enough. If no one talks behind your back, it means you're not outstanding enough. If someone is taking advantage of you, it means you have value. If someone isolates you, it means you're strong enough. If someone imitates you, it means you are charismatic. If someone slanders you, it means you are too prominent. If someone mocks you, it means you have unique thinking. If someone confronts you, it means you are superior to them.